Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so the sabotage continues. And once again, it's coming from the UK. Remember back in 2022 when there was reports that Volodymyr Zelensky and Vladimir Putin were to meet together to sign some sort of an agreement, and then allegedly the whole thing was spiked by Joe Biden and Boris Johnson. Well, the UK, I guess, is up to it again. This time it's not Boris Johnson, however. It's their new socialist prime minister, Keir Starmer, who just took the world one step closer to World War III, as the Europeans simply are refusing to let go. You know, Zelensky's been getting torched the last few days, and I'd say rightfully so, but now I guess it's time to turn our attention to Keir Starmer. This guy is so painfully out of his depth, it's actually embarrassing. You know, right when things seem to be moving in the right direction, I know a lot of people may not share my view, but I think even the chaos at the Oval Office between that Zelensky-Trump meeting was a right nudge in the right direction. The moment we're starting to put the pressure on, trying to create that catalyst for peace, this guy comes sweeping in, sabotaging the whole thing as he's now hell-bent on pumping more money into this thing, dragging this senseless war on, and now even taking it to a whole other level. Remember when Keir Starmer was suggesting British boots on the ground? Well, he's now pushing that same rhetoric again, making sure to escalate this conflict, opposing the Trump administration's efforts to find a peaceful resolution. Keir Starmer, I guess, another Winston Churchill wannabe, really wants the death and destruction to continue. Let's talk about it. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Okay, so basically, like I said, Trump is working to de-escalate this thing. He's trying to pressure Zelensky to be open for peace. But the Europeans, they're hell-bent on sabotaging the whole thing. They want World War III.
First, we will keep the military aid flowing and keep increasing the economic pressure on Russia to strengthen Ukraine now. Second, we agreed that any lasting peace must ensure Ukraine's sovereignty and security. Third, in the event of a peace deal, we will keep boosting Ukraine's own defensive capabilities to deter any future invasion. Fourth, we will go further to develop a coalition of the willing to defend a deal in Ukraine and to guarantee the peace. The UK is prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air. Together with others, Europe must do the heavy lifting. But to support peace in our continent and to succeed, this effort must have strong US backing. We're working with the US on this point after my meeting with President Trump last week. And let me be clear, we agree with the President on the urgent need for a durable peace. Now we need to deliver together. Finally, we agreed that leaders will meet again very soon to keep the pace behind these actions and to keep working towards this shared plan. We are at a crossroads in history today. This is not a moment for more talk. It's time to act, time to step up and lead, and to unite around a new plan for a just and enduring peace.
Yup, and you know, I wonder how the British people feel about this. Are you ready to go die on the front line in Ukraine? Is that really what this is going to come down to? I mean, think about it. It started as a territorial dispute. That's even what Obama described it as back in 2014. But now look at the level that they're taking it to, digging their heels in, refusing to come to the table, refusing to deal, and now escalating this thing in the direction of World War III. I mean, the more countries get involved here, it's already a world proxy war, let's call it. And now the next step for it to escalate to a world war is for countries across the globe to start sending their troops on the ground. And that's exactly what Keir Starmer wants, apparently. And it's crazy, you know, to talk reckless like this, especially coming from this guy. This guy couldn't swat a freaking mosquito out the air. He couldn't punch his way out of a damn wet paper bag. But now here he is acting like a tough wartime leader. I mean, please. How about you put your money where your mouth is, champ, and you go box on the freaking front lines? What is wrong with these warmongers and their aversion to effective diplomacy and peace negotiations? I mean, come on, it's what the world wants.
Do you support a Russia-Ukraine negotiated peace deal? The vast majority of Americans, this is what they want. 78% say that they support this idea versus just 16% oppose.
It's clear where this is headed. Now, of course, that's just Americans in that poll, but 78% of Americans polled in that survey want peace negotiations. They want an end to this conflict that is diplomatic, but instead, this is the response. Escalation and all-out war. And you know what? If that's really what Europe wants, well, I regret to inform you, but you might be on your own. You want to escalate this thing to World War III, do it on your own damn time and on your own damn dime. I welcome Europe to deal with this mess that they're now making even messier. If Starmer and all these big-talking European politicians want to act tough, well then you can bankroll your own war. It's easy to be the big tough guy when you're accepting hundreds of billions of dollars in American grants. I know in the moment all these European politicians are basking in the spotlight, soaking in all the glory of being a wartime politician or leader, but how much more will they be willing to commit without American grants? Zelensky doesn't come with small demands.
American money, good. Give us 250 billions, which are here in Europe, frozen Russian assets. No answer.
It's an old clip of Zelensky asking the Europeans to start liquidating all the seized Russian assets that they've gotten their hands on. He's been asking for that for a long time. Let's see if they'll actually do it. Let's see if they could keep up. Another 2 years is probably another $200 billion. Let's see if Russia could keep up, because again, the money coming from Europe, they're not grants, they're loans. How much further into death and destruction and debt do the Ukrainians want to plunge into? Again, if you want World War III, pay for it your damn self. And that right there really seems to be the conversation.
Milionów Europejczyków prosi 300 milionów Amerykanów, żeby oni ich obronili przed 140 milionami Rosjan. Chcę się powtórzyć tylko te słowa. Umiesz liczyć, to licz na siebie, zacznij liczyć na siebie. Nie w odosobnieniu, ale z pełną świadomością własnego potencjału. Europa, jeśli czegoś dzisiaj nam brakuje, to przecież nie przewagi gospodarczej czy ludnościowej, tylko wiary w to, że jesteśmy naprawdę globalną potęgą.
That's Polish PM Donald Tusk laying out the numbers, making the point that Europe is a global power, a global force on its own. Well then yeah, there you go, you got it. If you're hellbent on fighting this war to the absolute last Ukrainian, and even putting your own soldiers on the ground, well then you guys are gonna have to start footing the bill. The idea that Europe is still relying on the US like America's their damn babysitter is a complete joke. It's time to get serious. If you Europeans are really this serious about it, this hellbent on taking it to the absolute very end, the ball's in your court. It's time to start, taking the lead here. But obviously, the Europeans haven't exactly been so serious this whole time because they've just operated under the assumption that America is going to do their military bidding. It reminds me of the time that Donald Trump stood in front of the UN and tried warning them about their dependence on Russian oil. And what did they do? Yeah, they laughed at him. And all the comedians and talking heads all came together to ridicule Donald Trump.
Trump did it again in September when he went to the UN and said something about Germany that was so detached from reality, even the German delegation couldn't help but laugh at him.
Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course. Here in the Western Hemisphere, we are committed to maintaining our independence from the encroachment of expansionist foreign powers.
Not only are these dudes laughing, but look at this lady's face. She doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, and she's from a country where this is a real word.
They haven't been serious since day one. Just look at this headline. The EU spends more on Russian oil and gas than financial aid to Ukraine. Europe is estimated to have bought $22 billion of fossil fuels from Russia in 2024, but gave $19 billion to support Kyiv. Now, of course, that $22 billion isn't going straight to funding war efforts in Russia, but it just goes to show the idiocy and the hypocrisy. They're supposedly so serious about this that they're willing to put boots on the ground and continue escalating this conflict, but they're not serious enough to stop their reliance on Russian oil, and they continue to import it by the billions. Come on. They're funding both sides, literally. You got these politicians playing tough guy, even though they're limp-wristed, talking about bravery and fighting to the very end. But they're not the ones shedding blood now, are they? It's very easy to sign a piece of paper and smile for the cameras when you don't actually have to face any real consequences. Yeah, of course the consequences are just for the 20 and 30-year-old men who are sent to the slaughter. It's just crazy to me, again, the aversion to peace. They want so badly to continue this conflict, their refusal to join Donald Trump's leadership in his attempts to diplomatically end this thing is just mind-boggling to me. It's baffling. And any explanation that I could come up with that could explain their behavior, well, all of it is just dark. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.